fashion show. I got my Tiana Taylor sneakers on today. Miss Carter is wearing the Beyonce Ivy Bar collection today. Yes, work it! Everybody okay? Everybody feels good? Oh, we have one of the greatest mothers to come out of Brooklyn here with us today at the Brooklyn Library. How you feeling today, Miss Carter?
Like I feel every day, blessed.
Yes! Some people say that, but you actually have a ritual to make sure that exudes your whole presence every day, right? You wake up and think that every morning. You have a lot to celebrate right now. So as I'm sure some of you know, Mrs. Carter is the founder and CEO of the Sean Carter Foundation, which is co-founded with Sean Carter, child of Brooklyn. And they're celebrating their 20th year anniversary right now, right?
Yes.
What does that feel like, 20 years of work?
Well, when we start at the bottom, we didn't even realize, the staff and all, we didn't realize that we've been doing it for 20 years until...
Let's make sure her mic is...
So when they said, oh, it's time to celebrate 20 years, we were like, 20 years? We've been doing it for 20 years? And that's just the beginning. We're not going to stop because there's so much work that needs to be done.
Yeah. And you've done so much in the past 20 years. The celebration of the 20 years is celebrating legacy, excellence, and inspiration, correct?
Yes.
Break that down for us.
Legacy. Let's start with that. That's when you do something from your heart and you look for nothing in return. You just want to be a person that can uplift other people, to make them better. You know, because we all can be excellent. We all have that inside of us. We just have to move forward and bring it forward.
And excellence.
Excellence, I just spoke of that. We all have that.
We all have it. And inspiration.
Inspiration. You have to be inspired. See, with us, what we have to start doing is teach each other by just having conversation, because we assume that everybody knows the same thing, and that's not true. Until you start speaking to people, then you'll learn that they don't. Because, like, you know, me growing up, right, I come from a background where children were seen and not heard. Okay, and I said that when I had children, they're going to have a voice. So one day, are y'all ready for the story? Living in the project, I was coming home from work one day, and because we was always taught to respect adults, that I was walking down the street with these two little boys. One was on one side of the street, the other one was on the other side of the street, and they were cursing at each other. And I walked up to the young boy and I grabbed him and I said, oh, that's not, you're too little to be having that kind of behavior. And the little boy cursed me out. So, of course, because where I came from, I grabbed him because there's just a level of respect that you're supposed to have for your elders.
You put your hands on somebody else's child?
I grabbed him like this and said, let's go see your parents. But then reality set in and I was like, oh, you have that kind of behavior, I better not do that, right? And the most amazing thing, and it was really, for me, it gave me a reality check. But when I walked in the door, my daughter Michelle looked at my face and she said, Mom, what happened? And I said to her, a little kid just cursed me out. And she said to me, Mom, welcome to the real world. Can you believe that? And it is acceptable.
That must have made you sad.
Yeah, it made me sad, but how can we accept something like that? It's bad behavior. And we have to now start acting on it, you know, so that we can make a difference.
That's the base of the foundation too, right? It's
Yes.
seeing kids like that. Seeing kids that are sometimes overlooked. Let's talk about the beginning of it and how it came to fruition. You started this foundation a year after you retired, correct?
Yes.
So you didn't want to sit down. You wanted to get right back to work. You worked your whole life,
Yes.
single mother of 4 here in Brooklyn, raising four children on your own. You work your whole life, but one day your son says, or your family says, or your kids say, "Ma, you can't work anymore."
Well, we had an argument about that.
It didn't go down that easy.
We definitely had an argument about that because I worked all my life and I never wanted to depend on anybody. So I didn't even know that my son felt that, I didn't even know that my son was saying that I was the ghost in the closet because I didn't want to retire. Because my mother raised us to believe that, you know, you work hard and you hold your own. So yeah, she raised all that.
This is not at the beginning of Jay's career, by the way. Jay is a worldwide household name, and she's still working because because you want to hold your own.
Yeah, because I raised my children to be independent, you know, and I felt like I raised y'all to be independent, so why would I just sit there and die and expect you? Okay. and expect you to take care of me, because I've been used to all my life of taking care of myself and my children. So I'm very independent. That's my baby daughter right there, Andrea.
Hi, Andrea. Andrea, was it a full family intervention? It was a full family intervention.
Yes.
It was time.
Yeah.
And so retirement lasted from 1 year, and she said, what did you say?
I was like, I have to do something.
Yeah.
I have to do something. So I called my son up and I was like, listen, we need to do something. So he says, what is it you want to do, Ma? And I said, so much is given, much is expected. There's a whole bunch of kids out there in this world who need someone to help them. Mm-hmm. And because of these young people's GPAs, no one would look at them. So those are the kids that I decided that we needed to address. Mm-hmm. And the only one at that time that would look at our children was HBCUs. So the thing about these young people are, I can be excellent. All I want somebody to do is just see me, and I will show you who I am. And that's what they've been doing.
They've been showing you
for 20 years. Showing me who they are.
What are some of the greatest success stories? Like, what are the proudest moments?
My proudest moments, there's so many. Because of the foundation I've been on, I've been in a lot of beautiful situations. I call it blessings every day. I've been getting my accolades while I'm here. I'm able to smell my roses while I'm here. Not that I live for that, because I don't do that, but I do that because there's stuff that needs to be done. So, my greatest moments.
They're telling you, she's not going to yell at me.
Greatest moments. Okay.
They said your mic was
I'll try to hold it closer so you can hear.
It's amazing to me to think about that. When you think about a woman who worked her whole life and raised 4 kids on her own, being a single mother here in Brooklyn, and one day one of your children is so successful that it changes the trajectory of the whole family.
Yes.
That one person in your family's success could change everybody's lives in that way, and it did. How did you adjust to that? Because that comes with fame, responsibility. You talk about the gift and the curse a lot.
Yes. Well, That's what it was. It was my son said it. He said, "Ma, your life is getting ready to become a gift and a curse." And I didn't know what they meant by that. Because for me, it was like, okay, because I'm a people person. I love people. I love being in the company of people. I love having conversations with people. My daughter tells people, don't sit with my mother too long because she's going to start talking to you, she's going to make you cry. So, and I'm like, stop telling people that. It's true because I speak the truth. I try not to be that person that try to force anybody to do anything. I just want you to hear a different side of what you're thinking. So, the gift and the curse for me was hard because I was a people person. And because I'm a nice person.
So you have to be a little more guarded now to be protective, right?
Well, I came up with ways of handling the situation. Because like when I started reading people, I didn't know whether you like Gloria Carter or whether you like Jay-Z's mom. You know, so I had to start putting stuff in perspective, and how I put it in perspective was like, you know, I will receive everybody, and I will start you at the top of the pinnacle. And what I will do for you, because you take my kindness for weakness, I will allow you to work your way down where you want to be in my life. Because when you're out of my life, it's because that's you chose, I didn't choose. So then there's no reason for me to even look back.
I never want to be on your bad side. I don't ever want to be on your bad side. I have you know, Jay has been tremendous through my whole career. From the beginning of my career, we would have these, you know, when he started getting bigger and bigger, he'd always come back and do interviews with me here in New York, 107, and people would be trying to get interviews all over the world. He had a real, just like loyalty, and would always show up. We have one interview that still goes viral today. I see it on TikTok where he talks about his uncle having fear about his success. His uncle telling him he's never going to make it as a rapper. And he said, you know, he didn't blame his uncle because that was his uncle's fears, putting it up onto him. Did you have those same fears for your son? Did you believe in this big vision?
I believed in my son, because let me tell you, he was a special child from the day he was born. He taught himself, it's in his record. He taught himself how to ride a bike when he was 4 years old.
We heard that December,
so that's true. He was a very special child. He was that kid that's like, yo, mom, the sun is shining and I want to go outside. And I'll be like, baby, it's cold outside. And he was like, but the sun is shining. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to let you go outside. Open the door, put him outside, and I'm looking out the door. In about a couple of minutes, he's ringing the bell. So I was like, oh, so what happened? He said, it's cold outside.
You were the kind of mom to give him the freedom to go outside and feel that cold for himself.
That's how a lesson is like. You know, there's so many lessons we want to see. Like the thing with us is that people fall down. You know, see, what we have to now wrap our mind around is this is a fact that you're supposed to fall down in life. But what falling down does is teaches you how to get up. Yeah.
He's been really transparent in his music about that. I think that's one of the reasons people always fell in love with him and followed his career from 20s to 30s to 40s to evolve. And then as we talk about, because we were talking about Hip Hop 50 back there, and how much hip hop has, let's go to that first. Let's talk about hip hop first, and then we'll work our way up to that. What is hip hop meant to this foundation, to you? What is your relationship with it? I've heard you say you don't love the curse words.
Hip-hop is one of the reasons why the foundation is in existence, because of my son being a hip-hop artist. You know, if it wasn't for that, to start us, you know, and maintain us, you know, when we were struggling. Because whenever you start any kind of business, you're starting at the bottom of the struggle that you're learning. and you have to learn your way, you have to feel your way, especially if you're trying to uplift children. There's always, the devil is always busy. So there's times you never feel like, I can't do this, but you can do it, because the foundation taught me that that's my purpose. You know, like sometimes, I used to always say to people, you know, like, you know your purpose, you know your purpose. No, you don't. Sometimes your purpose are you. And by me doing, by us doing the foundation, that was my purpose. And that's why I still do to this day. And I'm going to do it for as long as I can. Beautiful staff.
Hi, Donna.
Like-minded people, you know, like, we all started from the bottom, you know. We were in there, not knowing what we was doing, but we knew what we wanted. We knew what we expected from the foundation. And we worked together, we cried, we quit, and then we showed up the next day. You know, we had arguments, you know, because that's why it's called a village. That's what we have. We have a village.
When we talk about hip-hop turning 50, and we talk about the evolution of how far we've come from this, you know, this culture, this music that started 50 years ago. When you think about a 50-year-old person and how much they've learned and how much we've evolved as human beings, I feel like the culture has also evolved in so many ways.
Oh, definitely. Believe it or not, hip-hop brought people together. And when I say people, I'm talking about black, white, purple, green. You know, it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter, because hip hop was a way for human beings to connect and start understanding the other side. Because we're all different, we all live different, but hip hop opened up the doors, because what these young people did was they came out there and they started sharing their life stories with you. So now people are looking at this and saying, you know, so then you have young people out here that coming behind them. It's like, okay, this is all right, but we can do this too.
Yeah.
So it touches so many people, and it still touches people.
Yeah.
Because everybody's still, what? Sharing their truths.
I think as we evolve too, we were talking about this a little bit back there, how hip-hop at 50, right? Of course there's ways that we can do better. Of course there's things that we still do wrong. But we're multi-generational now. We're more inclusive than we were when we first started. We're, I don't know, we talk about mental health, which we didn't so much at the beginning. You know, I just feel like we're a grown-up version of where the culture started. And so when I think about that, and we're talking about the culture evolving, and I think about an album like 444, that's what made me think that. It's so powerful to have watched him grow into an adult and be so vulnerable and honest on that album, and to include you in that process also. What did that album mean to you and your family?
Well, for me, it took me out of shadows, and it made me smile.
And be free.
Yes, definitely.
I've heard you talk about that song, Smile, and how it came to be, that you had this conversation with your son, where you told him who you were, and you weren't sure yet if you wanted to make a song about it or share it with the world.
True.
What was the thing that prompted you to share your truth with the world?
So we were having a conversation, and when we finished conversation, I was on the plane going home, and my son said to me, he was like, "Mom, you have to take the power out of other people's hands. You can't allow them to let you live like that. You know, you deserve to be happy." He says, because if once you say it, he says, this is what's going to happen. He says, they say they're talking about you anyway. So now you confirm this, so what they now don't have anything to talk about anymore.
Was he right?
He was absolutely 100% right. What they do is they find something else to go.
Yeah, we always find something. It's the gift and the curse.
Yes.
But when you make a decision like that, is it in fact free? Does life feel different after you make a decision like that?
For me, it does.
Yeah.
Because I was living a life undercover. So it allowed me to, and because I was living that life, I had a different behavior. People that I was talking to, instead of treating them like we were a couple, I treated them like they were my friends. And what I did was, I thought of, and I treated them like they were my kids. I was a caregiver. So being that caregiver, I never experienced somebody caring and loving me. So after doing that, I met someone.
Yes! One time for love.
And we have a good time and stuff. And she said,
Yes, Mom. I love this for you.
she said to me one day, she said, Gloria, why every time I say I have your back, you look at me strange? And that was something that I had to just go and think about. I had to come back. When I came back, I was like, I have an answer for that. And my answer is like, I've always been a caregiver, and I've never had anybody to have my back. So for me, that is a learning behavior. So I have to learn how to accept that. So,
How you doing with that? Good?
I'm doing great.
All right. Sometimes we all, I just started this podcast called In Real Life, and I share more than I've ever shared my whole career. And sometimes it's uncomfortable, but what I get back from people is so worth it that sometimes when it's on your terms, it's worth it. And I've heard Jay say, even about 444, how it's uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable for him to do all that sharing. But if you don't share, how do people learn?
Right.
You know what I mean? And if you have that power and that platform and you don't use it, how do people learn from your mistakes and things like that? So I thought it was a beautiful moment. So hip hop, by the way, this foundation probably doesn't exist, right? Without hip hop.
Without hip hop, my life changed because of the foundation and the work that me and my village put in and touching and changing lives. I'm the one that did the activities. I'm the one, I'm the one, but we share the experience. I pick up the paper and we be in the office and we be like, touching the community and uplifting the community. I've gotten so many awards just for community service, and people say, what, for community service? But yes, you touch, you change so many lives. It's, when I came out, I touched, GLAD gave me an award. I touched other people's lives, but the truth of the matter is, I didn't even think that I was going to touch and change anybody's life. I was saving my own life. But in the course of doing that and coming out, I had people coming to me telling me that, like, you changed my life. So to me, it was like, okay, I didn't even know how to receive it. But you learn how to receive stuff like that when you know that you're doing something that's in a positive. Because at the end of the day, no one can choose who you love. But what you have to demand for that person that you love, you have to demand respect for that person.
Sir, what is your name? right, Fundy? Respect. Thank you. You say you gotta have respect?
Definitely.
At all times.
Definitely.
What are you most proud of, Ms. Carter, about this foundation? What are you most proud of? What is your proudest moment?
My proudest moments is, okay, so when we first started out, we had young people that had this strong desire to get an education, but their GPA was low, so they couldn't get any funding. And these were the children that, when they came to me, it was like, if you see me, that's all I need for you to do. If you see me, I will make you proud, because I will show you who I am. So then you have the next generation of kids and I'm not looking for a fight nobody, but we also have now the new kids that I label the me generation. And I call them that because as parents, you always want to give your kids more than you have. So they lose a lot because of that. You know, they become the me generation. They're not used to making up their own beds or doing chores in the house, you know, because mom does everything, mom and dad does everything, and they bring you everything, you know. It's like, so now as you grow up, you feel like, okay, I'm that kid. And running the foundation, I see it because the kids would come in. So in this particular day, I made it my day or my business to sit at registration. So I'm sitting down, and the young man that's getting ready to go to college is supposed to be filling out the application. He's standing like this. And his mother is sitting down filling out the application. And I was like, no, that's not the way it goes. Because he's getting ready to go into school, or you're not going to be there. And we have to also start sharing more information with our young men. The same information that we share with our daughters. Because we teach our daughters that you're queens and you're supposed to be treated a certain way. We give them all the information. We don't share all of that information with our young men. We need to say to them, like, y'all are kings. And y'all have to also learn to be respectful. You know, because in relationships, you don't have to be in a relationship. But if you choose me, then you have to give me the same respect that you want from me. The world's changing. We're just as important as you are. So we as parents have to start letting our kids know that our young men, that y'all are kings. And in order to be treated like king, you have to behave like a king. You don't have to commit. If you don't want to commit, don't commit. But don't expect her to commit to you and be true to you if you're not going to be true to her.
She got bars too, you know. I mean, the bars came from somewhere. What kind of grandmother are you?
Well,
are you as I feel like you might be a softy grandma.
No, I'm a great grandma. You know, I am not only a grandma, I am a great grandma. So my first set of grandkids called me grandma. My second set, these are the 20-year-olds, they said, yo, you too cool to be called grandma, we're gonna call you Gigi. And then I have my great-grandkids that call me Gigi. Oh! So it's it's a beautiful thing, you know, and I'm that grandma that when they want to have a party, they call grandma, yo, grandma, you know, we have a little get together over here, you know, so like, so could you bring me this, could you bring me that, and of course I'll be like,
you do that?
I do that.
You're so great.
Because I love my family. My family is beautiful. We get together, we have a great time, we're loud, we're noisy, we play music, we play spades. We talk mess.
I feel like you're probably nice at spades.
Kind of sort of. And I have friends that I've been friends. As a matter of fact, I'm going to introduce my friend. We've been friends since we were 15.
Wow.
And she works for the foundation.
Make your family close.
Yeah, she believed in my dream as well.
I love that. I watched it's funny that you say that because I think about Rock Nation. And when I walk around Rock Nation, I see your family. Mm-hmm. Jay keeps his family. Michelle's the office manager. I see Rel running around. These, your family is very strong and very unified. Yes.
Yes, and he's no nonsense because like a lot of young people feel that okay, because it's my families, I'll be all right. No, they are hard workers. They were taught to work hard. Wasn't you doing
Jay ain't the only one that works hard in the family.
They all work hard. They all work hard. They all hold their own.
Your granddaughter works hard. We saw Blue Ivy in the concert. And if we're watching Blue Ivy feeling so proud of her, I can't imagine what that feels like for grandma to watch that.
When I looked at them, I talked to them, I said, that you guys opened up a door. You opened up a door, so now everybody's going to be expecting to see Ivy dancing with her mom.
It's so true.
It's a beautiful thing.
Especially as we're talking about legacy. That's what's so beautiful to see about her.
Yes.
It's, she'll become whatever she's going to become in life. But because people are so invested and rooted and just have so much love for that family, it's so nice to see the legacy continue in different ways, not just the daughter, but the mom doing such great work with the foundation. I just think the legacy of the whole family is so strong and so powerful and so inspiring. So congratulations to all of our families. For sure. What are the ways that we can support you? What are the ways that we can support you, make you proud? I don't know why I want to make you proud, all of us.
Well, we have a website. You can go on the website. I mean, we need all the help that we can get because see, there's one thing about running a foundation. Because the name is attached to Gloria Carter, they think that the foundation don't need any money. We need all kinds of help. We need all kinds of funding because we are now going into different avenues and touching different subjects as well. But the good thing about doing this for 20 years as well is that when we started, it was like from year to year, and my son kept us alive. But now we're at a place that people see us and they want to be a part of this. And we want them to be a part of it because you can be a part of it. There's so many things that young people need. Sharing information. We're touching on all different areas. We're touching on generational wealth, bringing it into our community. Because a lot of us was taught to put money in a bank. But as long as you put money in the bank, you will never be rich. The only way to get rich is the bank. So you need to start learning generational wealth, how to invest your money, how to spend wisely, how to get the right credit card. So we're tapping into that as well. We have some young scholars that we sent to the Dubin organization, and so they were going there to just do some research and stuff, but in the course of them doing research, they found a young man that had been convicted, and he didn't do the crime. And they had Josh Dubin take a look at it, and then they started campaigning him. The young man's name is Bruce. He is now out of jail because of our students.
People might, I heard you say this, I think it was Rel's podcast, where you were saying there's only a certain amount, is this correct?
Yes.
That Jay as an entity, as the co-founder, can contribute to the organization. Is that correct?
Yes, per year, yes.
Why is that?
Taxes.
I see.
It's just taxes, you know.
And this is not the only work that he's doing.
Oh, no. Justice reform. See, my son takes on stuff. He's a good man.
Right.
For justice reform, because he's going against the grain. I pray for him every day. Because when you start going against the grain, you become something that somebody looks at, because you're not supposed to be going in that direction. But we have to go in that direction. It's a must, because the majority of the people that's locked up are people of color for crimes that they didn't commit, and it's not fair. So I pray for my boy every day.
We pray for him too.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
He needs all the prayer he can get.
And I've seen this firsthand, some of the work that they do. It's just so inspiring to go back to inspiring and excellence. It's been really inspiring. I heard you say also that your favorite Jay-Z song was Songwriter? Is that facts?
That's facts.
Do you have a favorite Jay-Z verse or lyric or song? I mean, not song, like a lyric or a verse or a bar? Too hard to say, right?
There's so many.
Yes, spin a verse. Can you spin a verse? I'll give you a big box.
I really can't.
All these years, he's taught you nothing?
He's the rapper.
You leave it like that?
I'm the talker.
And the community organizer and the CEO and co-founder of Sean Carter Foundation. And you said the song of your life. There was a song that was to the soundtrack of your life. Do you remember what you said?
Which one? Smile?
No, you said it was Beyonce. I Was Here.
Oh, yes. Right.
That would be the song that would be the soundtrack to your life.
Yes, it would, because we're all supposed to leave a legacy, you know, and I'm going to sum it up like this. I do affirmations in the morning.
Oh, I love that. Give us one. Give us one to take home with us tonight.
So, someone sent me one, and it kept running through my brain. And I don't know who actually came up with it, but what it said was, be careful how you live your life. Because one day, you will be an ancestor, right? Never thought of myself as an ancestor, but one day you'll be an ancestor, and the generation that comes after you will be able to see you. So how do you want them to see you?
How do you want them to see you?
And I think they do, but I didn't do it to be seen. It's God's blessing. He put me here. So.
And we're thankful that he did. Thank you so much for today. God bless you. God bless the work that you do. Please, guys, go to the website and support the efforts of the Sean Carter Foundation. Thank you guys so much for spending time with us tonight. This beautiful night in Brooklyn. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for your beautiful family. Brooklyn, make some noise!
Thank you. I am honored.
Come on, y'all, give it up for Angie Martinez.